Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, Anu.
Namaste, Hajit. And Namaste, Techies, right?
Namaste, Techies. I should always start with that. Namaste, Techies, and then
Yes.
yes, yeah. Can't forget these guys. That's what we're
Yeah,
here
yeah.
for. Anyways, so yeah, let's dive straight in, right, into what we want to show without wasting a lot of time.
Yeah.
But before we do, it's actually Chinese New Year, celebrated all around the world. So happy Chinese New Year,
Hey, happy
uh,
Chinese New
Gong
Year.
Hee Pa Choi, and
Oh, I don't want to try that.
well, I grew up in Malaysia, right? So it's like multicultural. We have
Oh,
Chinese neighbors and all that stuff. So yeah, lot of
good,
fun,
good,
lot
good.
of fun. So it's the year of the tiger.
Wow.
Wow, with a raw. All right, so let's dive in. Hope everybody's celebrating and happiness and all sorts of good things to you and your families.
Yep.
So with that said, let me try to share my screen real quick.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
All right. Disregard all the open tabs I have. I have lots of open tabs.
And most of them are sleeping.
That's good. Hey, I need these tabs, man. They're important. So, anyways,
I can understand.
oh my god. So, there was some big announcement just a couple of days, 2, 3 days ago, from the Microsoft Endpoint Manager team, and there's a new release for Microsoft Endpoint Manager, aka Intune. Um, it's the first release of 2022, and the version is 2022.01. So there's some new highlights here and stuff like that, new features. But something that we want to focus on today is called the using filters to ensure the right policies are deployed. So filters have been around in Endpoint Manager for a little while. It was under preview, but now it has the preview tag has been removed. It's now available for public, or let's call it RTM or whatever you want to say it, right?
Yeah, general available. It's out of preview and it's generally
General
available.
availability, right?
Yeah.
Um, Not sure if you're seeing my. I'm trying to. My Teams is not
Oh,
working out for me. So hold on. I'm trying to share my window, um, but it's not really doing. Because it makes me keep
no.
switching stuff. All right, here we go. Then I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect again because Teams is just being fussy with me today. All right. So what I want to show is I've got one tenant
No.
here. One of my primary
No.
tenants. Do you
Okay.
see?
No, I can see you. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I've got one of my tenants where I want to show you that I'm still on the older version of Endpoint Manager, right? 2112. So this is year 2021, and there was a December release, and it's still coming. That's the thing about Endpoint Manager. You get the upgrades. It starts with APAC and then EMEA, and then the US and stuff like that, right? So depending where your tenant, I guess, is hosted and stuff. So in this tenant, you can see under filters, it still says preview. Okay,
Hmm.
it says stays preview here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you my other tenant. Again, yes, I know. Um,
You're playing around with Teams sharing.
yeah, just it's fun.
Yeah.
I promise. Last time. So this tenant in particular, when I go to tenant administration, I have the latest release 2201, the one that I just showed you in the blog post. And if you look under filters, the preview tag is gone, right? So as you say, it's general availability, and we go from there. So Anup, you're gonna do some a quick demo, and again, we actually talked about filters a few shows ago, and it was actually pretty popular. So we're just gonna piggyback on that, and Anup's gonna show you some new things that are available. All right, it's all yours.
Yeah, let's go to Azure AD first. Let's try to relate this with Azure AD dynamic group validate rules option, right? For example, if you go to Azure AD, you know how to add properties and device model. And for example, here I am taking the cloud PC example. And if you go to validate rules, you have an option to validate whether your rule is correct or not, because it is always better to check that before you deploy some application or some policies to a wrongly populated or populated group of devices. For example, over here in the validation rules in Azure AD, you can see like, oh, okay, this is a cloud PC standard, and the device model is that this PC, this particular device is going to get added to this particular Azure AD dynamic group. For example, if I add, I don't know, any other, for example, this one, probably it will say, no, this particular device is not going to get added to this group because it doesn't satisfy any of these rules.
Yes.
So if you click on view details, you would be able to see what are the rules we are checking, and the device model of this particular APB device is not matching with any of those rules. That is why it is not getting, this device is not going to get added to this dynamic group. So this is very interesting option, and this is very useful option to validate and etc. Right, in from Azure AD perspective. This
Right.
was there for many months now, or probably years now, right? Now what Intune team, MEM team did is they added a similar option to filters. So let's quickly create a filter rule and say cloud PC, and let's select Windows 10 and click next. Over here, we need to provide the logic. What
Yeah.
is the exact rule which we are looking for? So, for example, I'm going to create a rule based on the model of the device, and I'm going to select operator as equals, and then the value of that is cloud PC underscore standard. Now if you click on this will get populated, and
Mhm.
there is an option over here, somewhere here. Okay, so this is the option device preview, and it already mentioned that you can see a sample set of devices that match the filter rules. Okay, so if you click on this link over here, you would be able to see which are the devices going to be part of this particular filter. So for example, if you check the model ID over model details over here, you can see, oh, okay, this is correctly getting populated. For example, that is fine. For example, if I want to remove some of the value details over here, so let just wanted to provide cloud PC, and I'm going to keep operator as equals, and then going to try preview devices. So
It doesn't find it.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm not using the correct value, right? That is why it is not going to find it, and this filter is not correct, right? This filter rule is not correct, so this should not go to the production or any POC or any kind of stuff, right? So we, before that, we need to correct this. So that is where we are getting this option. This is very good actually.
It'll work
There's
if you
a,
probably change it to contains, right? Yeah.
yeah. So if I change the operator to contains, then I click on preview devices, you can see the same thing again, right? Same two devices again, and over here you can see cloud PC is part of the model.
Mhm.
So that is why I like this particular feature, and this will help admins to avoid probably some of accidental deployments or accidental use of filters.
Yeah. So under properties, you have a few things you can leverage. For example, ownership, device ownership. We're talking about like personal versus corporate.
Yeah.
Whatever. These things come in handy. Let's say, for example, you're trying to deploy applications or deploy uh, policies and things like that. But you're saying, deploy to all devices, but actually, filter for corporate only or something like that, right? So you can narrow focus the assignments and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
And even you can find out Windows 11 PCs, etc. Right? For
mhm,
example, if we try one of them over here, Windows 11 devices. If this is not fine tuned, but for example, you can start checking whether this particular rule is going to work or not, and you can check whether the preview devices,
right.
click on preview devices and check whether it is going to correctly to the Windows 11 devices or not. So
Right.
that is also very useful, and probably you can check whether this is enterprise version or professional version or something like that, and you can see the
Yeah.
personal, as you mentioned, right? The ownership is also there. In the ownership you can
Yeah.
see it is personal, corporate, etc., etc. So all these are pretty useful because from the preview, looking at preview devices properties, you can change the operator and properties, right? For example, if I want to check on device ownership, and if I want to say equal, and if I want to select personal, and if I want to do preview, you can see
Mhm.
it got only personal devices got selected, right?
Yeah.
That is pretty useful, I would say.
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah, I like the new feature in there, the preview, and definitely lets you know whether you're doing the right thing or not, and selecting the right commands or syntax that you need. Is there anything else we want to talk about here, or?
Well, I think for today, I think this is more than enough.
Yeah, yeah. It's more short and sweet, right? Just want
Yeah.
to show the couple of things like the tenant. So your tenants will get upgraded, and then you'll see, the preview tag is gone. But you know what? It's really, people get hung up on the preview tag. It's actually ready for use, for production use. It's just that those particular features are continue to get additional things, like they're not done yet. In terms of what they're trying to do. Not to say that now without the preview tag that it's not going to get any more development. That is not true. It does continue to get that,
Yeah.
but you know. It's like your house, right? It's like, you know, you have the walls, you have everything, you can live in it, but maybe your driveway still needs to be, paved and stuff, or you still need to build a garage. So, but you can live there, that's, you can consider that preview, and then eventually your house is nicely built. But, maybe a year later, you're like, hey, we want to add another addition or something, you know, add another
Yeah.
bathroom and stuff like that. you know,
Continuous improvement or continuous
exactly.
development, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, nothing to be worried about. It's all good, but it's fun. It's exciting, and there's some other features that were released in 2201 for Macs and the DMG files and other things. But we'll talk about that another time. But we have to go, and so until next time.
Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like.
Perfect. I like that. And you know where to find us. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere. So until next time, namaste.
Namaste.